Welcome to the Wind Up with Will, everyone. I'm your host, Will, here with another episode, and today we're going to be talking about the NFL playoffs, the divisional round. We're going to be making our predictions for that and going over a brief recap of the wild card round. So we have last week in the wild card round. We're just going to do a roundup of that real quick. Here, I'll just adjust my screen a little bit. I feel like maybe the light's not quite on me right. Um, so in the wild card round, the Texans on the road went and upset the Steelers. The Texans were the 5 seed, Steelers were the 4 seed. The Steelers were the last team in the playoffs by winning their division last game of the year. It was a close game until the fourth quarter. The Texans were ahead 7-6, but exploded for 23 points in the fourth quarter to put the game away. It was kind of shocking. I thought the Steelers would pull out a close victory, and it kind of looked like they had a chance for that until the fourth quarter, where the Texans just went off. So the Texans win in advance. The Bills Jaguars game, that was a good game. 6 seed Bills playing the 3 seed Jaguars. The Bills win by a field goal. And this kind of came down to, as it often does in these games, a fourth down play by the Jaguars where it was 4th and 2. It's 4th and 1. It might have been 4th and 1 and a long one. But they went for it instead of kicking what would have been an easy field goal. They go for it. They get the first down, but upon review, Trevor Lawrence's knee touched and had him short by a few inches or by a foot or whatnot. So he was short. Turnover on downs when they could have had a field goal, and the difference in the game is 3 points. It happens so many times in these games where teams elect to go for it rather than just taking the easy points. And sometimes those easy points come back to bite you because it's a game of attrition. If you can't get points here and there, eventually it's going to add up with you. Points matter. Um, sometimes it's just best to kick the field goal. But that's the difference in the game there. Then the number 2 seed Patriots took on the 7 seed Chargers. Patriots won 16-3. There has to be some kind of conversation about Justin Herbert in the playoffs now. He has, I think, 1 career pass touchdown in the playoffs and like 6 interceptions. He's just not getting it done for the Chargers in the playoffs, and they always just seem to find a way to lose when they get there. You would think it would change with Jim Harbaugh at the helm, but maybe it will next year. Maybe that's what they're hoping for. The Chargers are always just a solid team. They make the playoffs, but they lose. It kind of feels like the Bengals back in the early 2010s, where they make the playoffs every year, but they just find a way to lose. So with those games, that leads us to the divisional round in the AFC. The number 1 Broncos host the 6 seed Bills, and the number 2 Patriots host the 5 seed Texans. So, but before we predict those games, I'm going to do a recap of the NFC side in the wild card round. The Seahawks had the 1 seed, they had the bye. The Broncos had the 1 seed in the AFC, they had a bye. The 4 seed Panthers won the division by the Falcons winning the last game of the year, give them the tiebreaker with the Falcons and the Buccaneers. The Rams, they were taking on the 5 seed Rams, who I think are one of the best teams in the NFL. The Rams went on the road and won 34-31 in this game. Now, this game, the Rams got a decent lead at one point. They were ahead 14-0, then 17-7. Panthers made a comeback, and then it was kind of a little bit back and forth, and the Rams score a touchdown with 38 seconds left to take the lead 34-31 and get a win on the road and advance in the playoffs to the divisional round. The 3 seed Eagles took on the 6 seed 49ers. This was a game that I picked, and it went pretty close to what I expected. I said the 49ers. I think I said the 49ers would win by 3 or 4. I might have ended up saying 6 or 7, but I said it would be essentially a one score game. The 49ers would pull out a win on the road. The Eagles have just not played anyone down the stretch. They've not been pressed. They've not been tried. And it just feels like the 49ers have had a much more difficult time down the stretch, fighting to try and get a higher seed, fighting possibly for the division. And they're just going to be a little bit more fired up for this game. And of course, they were in 123-19 to advance. And then the final game that I'm going to cover is the Bears-Packers. The 2 seed Bears were taking on the 7 seed Packers. I said the Bears would win a close one. I think I said they'd win by a field goal. And if the Packers had made that extra point at one point in the game, it would have been by a field goal. The Bears win 31-27 in a close one. Caleb Williams looks like the real deal. Just watching that game, his leadership, his poise, his ability to lead the team down the field at the end of the game when they needed it most. They pull out a win, and they advance the divisional round. First playoff win for the Bears in 15 years, since 2010 when they went to the NFC title game and lost to the Green Bay Packers. So it feels like kind of revenge for them, and the Packers just have had their number ever since Rodgers came in the league. So perhaps it's a change of fortune here. Perhaps it's a new Bears team and legacy and story that's being written now. The Bears are on to the divisional round with the 2 seed. They get another home playoff game. So super exciting for the Bears. So of the games that I picked all of the winners right. I might not pick the spread exactly right, but I picked all of the teams to win correctly except the Texans Steelers. I said the Steelers would win that game. So I went 5-1 in my predictions on who would win. But on to the divisional round, we'll see if I can continue success picking games in this round. We have the 1 seed Broncos taking on the 6 seed Bills. The Broncos are a 1.5 point favorite. From having looked at team stats, the Broncos arguably have the second best defense in the NFL. They give up the second fewest points of any defense, the second fewest total yards of any defense. The Broncos have a great defense, and that is how they've won so many of these games. They won a bunch of close games this year. Defense wins you games. However, their offense maybe isn't as good. I think Bo Nix is a good quarterback. He's a really solid quarterback, but Josh Allen is a much better quarterback. The Bills, I think, have a better offense. Now, what it's going to come down to is, can the Broncos defense contain Josh Allen, prevent him from having extended running plays or passing down the field, like breaking out, extending the play. Like if they can keep Josh Allen contained somewhat and limit him, I think the Broncos have got a good chance to win. If Josh Allen is making incredible plays and it turns into a high-scoring game, I don't like the Broncos' chances of winning because Josh Allen is a much more experienced quarterback in these kind of games. Bo Nix isn't. I like Bo Nix. He's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's as experienced as Josh Allen. I don't think he's as good as Josh Allen. And when it comes down to it in a high-scoring affair, I just feel like Bo Nix is likely to make a mistake, and that's all the difference that could be in this game. Having said that, though, I'm going to take the Broncos. I think their defense is really good. I think they're going to be able to limit Josh Allen just enough. Give me the Broncos by 3 in this one. I think it'll be a close game, and it might come down again to a team going for it on fourth down. Will the Bills like to roll the dice and go for it on fourth down? If the Broncos can get some stops on fourth down, maybe, just maybe, they win the game over the Bills. I'm picking the Broncos to win by 3 over the Bills. In the other divisional round game, we have the 2 seed Patriots hosting the 5 seed Texans. New England's a 3-point favorite. The Texans showed they're no slouch with how they beat the Steelers, who have a good defense. I think this will be a great game. Give me the Patriots to win by 3. I'm going to pick another game to win by 3. I think being at home, I think having won all these close games, having a very experienced coach in the playoffs, and Mike Vrabel, who has played a ton in the playoffs when he was a player. He's coached in the playoffs a lot with the Titans and had success making it to the AFC title game before. I think the Patriots are going to be well prepared. I think they are going to win against the Texans. I think it'll be a great game. I think the Texans are going to play them close, but give me the Patriots to win by 3. I think they're the better team, and Drake May looks really dangerous at quarterback. The one thing that goes against the Patriots is they've not played a ton of tough teams, so there is the chance of they might be overinflated of how good they are or how good they think they are. But I think they're a decent team, and I think they're going to get a win against the Texans and set up a rematch of Broncos-Patriots in the AFC title game from the days of Brady and Manning. That's my prediction for the AFC. On to the NFC. I think this is great. We have 3 of the NFC West teams in the divisional round. Number 1 Seahawks are hosting the 6 seed 49ers. The Seahawks are a 7-point favorite. I think this will be a great game. Give me the Seahawks to win against the 49ers. I think the 49ers are a great team. They're very talented. I think this will be close. I say the Seahawks win by 4. I think it'll be more than a field goal. I think it's going to come down to defensive plays. How does Sam Darnold play? Does he perform well in the playoffs? Does he crumple against a decent 49ers team? Do the 49ers hold up with the injuries they've had throughout the year? Can Brock Purdy deliver for them in this situation? How good can Christian McCaffrey play in this situation? The 49ers looked good against the Eagles. They played well. They played well down the stretch to make the playoffs. Can they win on the road in Seattle, which is a very tough environment to play at? Give me the Seahawks to win by 4. I don't think they cover, but I think the Seahawks win the game. I think they're the better team. I think they're maybe more healthy than the 49ers. And that home field advantage is going to give them the edge to win the game. The other game, the 2-seed Bears hosting the 5-seed Rams. The Bears are a 4.5-point favorite in this game. The Rams were my team that I picked to win the Super Bowl. I think they still can. I think this game against the Bears will be great. Give me the Rams to win, say, by 3. They don't cover either. They win by 3, either on a last-second touchdown or last-second field goal to take the lead. Matthew Stafford's playing like an MVP-level quarterback, and he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. He's had a phenomenal year. I think he leads the Rams on the road to beat the Bears. The Rams' offense has looked great. Their defense has been pretty good. I think the Bears are in a new chapter now with how well they're playing and with the talks of a new stadium and everything. And Caleb Williams looks like he's their guy. But this year was a step in the right direction for them, but it's not going to be the year they reach the NFC title game. Give me the Rams to win on the road and set up a third game this year against the Seahawks, this time in Seattle again. So our AFC title matchup, AFC championship game, I've got between the Broncos and Patriots, the 1 and 2 seed, and the NFC championship game I have between the Seahawks, the 1 seed, and Rams, the 5 seed. I think the Rams will still win on the road in Seattle. They've played the Seahawks close, and I think the Broncos will win against the Patriots. They've just defense wins championships, man. And I have the Rams, of course, picked to win the Super Bowl still. I think they're the best team. That's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who's going to win the divisional round games today? Who's winning the NFC and AFC title games? And who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.